What do you gain from that?
Today.
Hold on, because come over here.
No.
Wait, let her come over here so we can at least have a conversation.
Oh my God. What is that?
You're ducking and dodging and weaving and popping. How you doing?
Hey guys, welcome back to Baddies Africa Season 12, Episode 1. So the episode begins in Kenya. Tommy walks in with the camel, and Ursula the seaweed throws a can or a bottle at Tommy but misses her. Now they end up arguing about rings, and then they end up fighting. She was so sarcastic about it, she's like, ooh, ooh. And Tommy gets knocked to the ground. I'm curious to see what she says when she gets knocked out on the damn ground.
Delete, block, is bad.
So it goes to the current moment where they're all in Atlanta, Georgia. They show Natalie Carr how she wants to expand the Baddies brand, goes to Africa, and basically saying that she's international.
I'm international, bitch!
She also wants to embrace the culture and wants the girls to evolve. Yo, wait until you see the next episodes. I feel so bad for the African people there watching them fight like crazy. And this is when Natalie and Ursula meets up at some restaurant. So Natalie ends up going to the restaurant, meeting up with Dolly, and she says that this season she's not going to tolerate any disrespect. And that the nice Natalie is out the window.
You pack your ghetto up and you go right back home.
Natalie then tells Dolly that she's bringing girls back to Africa that she does not know, meaning Scotty and Ahna.
Oh.
And Dolly was basically saying that a lot of these girls have a lot of entitlement. They then talk about the girls coming back, Diamond with the body, Summer, Lex, Bad Dolly, and Ivori as well. And Pretty P. I love Pretty P. She's my favorite. Now, the new girls, they did their big ones. They actually got some real sexy, fine-ass girls.
Who told you you could go outside looking as good as you look, looking all nice and sexy the way you look and going outside?
I'm not saying the other girls don't look good. It's just, you know, usually they have some 7s and some 8s.
Please, I will beat you.
These girls are like a damn 10. Until they take that makeup off, then maybe it's a different story. But they got Cold Killer,
Call the police.
Fauna, and Russian Roulette, something like that. Oh, and they also had Tabby, which looked like Erica. Oh, and they actually got girls that have African backgrounds. They got Elsie and Choco Brown. I like that name, Choco. She is the real African queen. And they also have Marissa coming, which I think she's some rapper's baby mama. I'm not too sure. And Stunna, and the bald lady that beat up Jocelyn, Amber Rose. And they talk about Biggie being in the baddie timeout. I ain't gonna lie, I kind of laughed about that situation because she's definitely one of the girls that looked like she felt big-headed. And apparently the Rolly, she was not happy about being in the situation in timeout. Which is funny because she did this fake thing with Smiley, and you know what? That's a whole other video. Let's continue. Anyway, after the introduction, Rolly then asked Natalie if we're gonna eat today. Natalie was like, probably not, and I'm gonna let these girls basically starve like the children in Africa. Anyway, after talking all that shit about making these girls starve, Scotty ends up coming in. Now, I'm not gonna lie, this episode had a lot of fillers. Like, when I tell you their introductions were so long of them walking inside the damn restaurant when it didn't need to. Like, why did you do that? It's like, hey, I was like, oh my god, the scams. And then she was like, oh, your outfit's cute. And then Scotty was like, oh, so you think this is cute, but not me.
See, the girls are fighting!
And Natalie's like, oh, well, you know, it depends who we're talking about right now. You know, trying to be fake as shit. And then there was a flashback when Natalie called her ugly and that Big Lex was prettier than her. And then they ended up talking about the reunion, and Scotty was like, but you wanted Big Lex to beat me up though. And Natalie was like, oh, but you said a lot of things though, and that's not what I was saying. And it looked like she wanted to find a reason to hate her, because she ends up saying, you stood up on the table, you put me in some shit by saying the baddie chain was from my bedroom. And she's basically pissed because she put the chain on the dog. Rolly then asked Scotty, so what's the beef? Scotty's like, well, Natalie's not a good friend.
Oh, really?
Natalie then goes, you can't skip all over all the boo ass. Scotty was like, we are, that was the last season. And she said, the chain was wet. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not nice Natalie. And this is when Ahna ends up coming in, walking into the set.
What's wrong with your ashy ass?
Ahna's entry was so shocking, y'all. They needed a whole police following the car, like she was the president of Atlanta. Why didn't Ivori have this security when she got jumped?
That's suspicious.
And she says she's not cool with Natalie because of what happened last season. And Natalie's like, welcome to Baddies Africa. And Natalie was like, oh, you came in walking in fighting her, and look at you guys now, besties. Yeah, it's giving fake. And she's like, but we're not besties, we can stand on that. And I'm just like, but didn't you fight for her the last season with Summer? And Ahna decided to throw slick shade at Natalie by saying, we don't say we're best friends and then talk about each other online.
Well, yes.
And Scotty just basically said that Natalie's not being a good friend because she doesn't step in when she should be, and yes, she understands she has to be a boss, but she also needs to be a friend.
Idiot bitches.
I don't know, I feel like Natalie's in a tough situation, but she is a pretty much shitty friend. Like, to argue over chain, really, there's more to it. And then they end up repeating about the whole situation, and Natalie was like, what I said was you were standing on the effing table with that chain, that the chain came from my room. And then Natalie said that it didn't come from her room.
That's weird.
And Natalie was like, I don't give a F about you or your dog, bitch. Scotty's like, I know that. And Ahna was like, the dog didn't steal the chain, so don't take it out on her. And then Natalie act possessed, y'all. She was under the table, over the table.
Really, nigga?
On the ceiling. She was doing a lot because she said that Scotty was dodging accountability. And then she's like, y'all wanna turn up? And then Ahna was basically saying that you're overdoing your job. You do weird-ish, and then you do weird shit behind these girls' back, and then they turn up on you. And then Natalie was like, you guys ready to go to Africa? And then she said to Ahna, you look scared. You good?
Fuck you!
And Ahna said, you the only scary bitch at this table. And then Natalie's like, let's run it up. And Anna's like, bet. And the whole time the security was like breaking them up. They're trying to fight. Plates are flying everywhere. This security guy's looking at Lemmy, waiting for him to give him an order. And then Scotty holding a damn plate. And Natalie was threatening them, saying that she got too many receipts. She got heaps of receipts. Then all of a sudden Scotty throws this little plastic plate, and it literally bounced off Rolly's fat leg. And for some reason, Rolly wanna act like it's a big deal. Rolly, you know it didn't hurt your leg, okay? And then she went up on Scotty's face as if she was gonna do something. Really? Over a plate that she didn't intentionally throw it at you? Like, you really trying to be a chinlin right now. And Natalie was winning because Scotty was getting hella mad trying to throw stuff at Natalie, and Natalie was laughing like The Exorcist. And then Scotty said, you wish you were in the pretty category with me and Lex, her. Ooh. Okay, that's probably a little bit true. And then Natalie just keep on trying to rub it in her face by saying Lex looks prettier than her. And then her and Ahna end up laughing about it like they really are best friends. At this point, I think there is. Now, Natalie wanted to leave, and the producers definitely wouldn't let her leave. So she started threatening them by saying that she was live.
Cut the cameras. Dead ass.
And while she's leaving, she says, you think you're gonna play with me and your weird ass bitches? This was directed towards Lemmy, by the way. And then she walks out talking about, ends wanna set me up, cause I got too many receipts. So she actually thinks that Lemmy somehow tried to set her up, which was really confusing. Maybe she didn't know that Ahna was gonna come. And Natalie basically says the thing that the baddies don't understand is that they are becoming very entitled, they're very hard to deal with, and calling her a bitch and throwing a cup at her is exactly what she's talking about. And I'm like, I don't think this has ever happened before.
You're a victim.
Now she's trying to move the car, then you see Rolly and Lemmy in the background walking towards the car. Rolly was like, are you okay? And she got the door slammed on her.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're...
But Ursula didn't care. She was just like, I'm about my food and some seafood.
This one has a little sweetness to it.
Then Rolly decides to talk to the other girls to make sure that they're okay. Then Rolly was like, oh, you guys calling each other ugly. Once upon a time, y'all were friends. I didn't call her ugly. And then Scotty put it on Rolly, put her name on it, and then she got loud. She was like, I said all of y'all, grow the F up, Scotty. I'm just like, it's funny how she doesn't give this energy to Natalie. All of y'all need to grow the F up. Rolly, please, you swinged around a little twig the whole season, and all of a sudden, you know the right way. Yeah! Next thing you know, Ahna ends up bringing Diamond and basically lies to her face. She's like, yeah, why did Natalie just come and ruin brunch and ran up on me and Scotty? What do you mean run up? She said lined it up and then she got up. See, this is the little things you lie about to make yourself look like the biggest victim. And then Diamond says that Natalie's not safe on her own shirt and that she's gonna terrorize her.
Daddy, chill.
And then Diamond basically says that she needs to set up an alliance. She wants a house A, house B situation. And obviously she teams up with Pretty and Ivori. He says that, yeah, we have to do this because we're basically going up against the boss and her chinlins. What? Okay, so let's get into Diamond, Ivori, Pretty, Big Lex, Summer, the other one, meeting up at a cafe. They're talking about building an alliance. And apparently Pretty P and Diamond actually have beef. And she's upset because Diamond put a clown emoji on her face.
It was bad for her. It was really bad for her.
And the reason why she did that, she said that Pretty P's sister kicked her in the previous season. And Pretty P was like, well, we already spoke about this and you running it up again? Like, what? And she was quiet.
Stupid.
And Ivori's like, oh my god, I love you guys, you should squash it, blah, 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 blah. And Diamond's like, yes, let's talk because we need to bring an alliance. Now, they end up talking about Ivori getting jumped by Stunna Girl. We actually went into more detail about that in another video. You can check that out here or here. But Diamond was trying to put it on Natalie, saying that we cannot trust her. She's a snake. You know, because they were on the same flight. And then Diamond let the girls know that she invited the trio. Right now. And what I really like about Diamond is that she let it clear to the girls that you are my alliance. If they come and on some ish, I am on some ish too. That was really cute. I was like, oh, she really have that back.
Oh.
Now the other girls that are coming and I'm just like, whoa, that outfit. Yo, something's funny. And it was like Bad Girls Club all over again. She went in there screaming, show me your baddest bitch. And pow. Dolly, Ivori end up fighting. Diamond end up fighting her. And then Summer came in for her. They end up fighting. Pretty P and Lex are like, huh? Now they end up fighting twice, y'all. And look, they both got bad eyes. It looked really, really bad.
That bitch was like Emmett Till.
Out of pocket for that shit. Way out of pocket. What do you gain from that?
And Dolly's like, Team Natalie. I was like, oh my god, you look ridiculous at that age saying that. Some of them end up stealing Pretty P's bag. Now we go to the dinner with Natalie Nunn, Ahna, and Stunna. Yeah, they had to check Stunna, making sure that she wasn't coming in with any type of weapons. You know, they're probably just feeling that booty. I'll be scared. Now, basically, Natalie was on the Stunna. How did you find out about where Ivori was staying and that she wasn't going to say? Because she wants the girls to basically go crazy. Sneaky, slimy snake. Then 5 years later, Ahna ends up walking in and, yo, she looks scared. And Natalie was like, yo, you need to have a conversation. Ahna was like, nah, there's no conversation. Why would I need to have a conversation with the girl that came online and started shit for no reason? She started with me. Did y'all forget that? Did y'all forget? And that is so true. Stunna Girl was quiet, like a mouse. And Ahna was like, look at your botch body, la la la. Stunna was like, you look like a little boy. Ahna was definitely hiding something because she was like this. This is the same situation she was doing at the reunion with Nunu. Why you want to fight with weapons for when they have no weapons? It's because you know you at a disadvantage. And Stunna was like, take the rings off. And next thing you know, Ahna called Natalie Nunn a bitch.
Oh my god, she threatened me.
Natalie was not having that. And the security was in the way and Natalie's like, oh, you guys see how you keep doing this? Honestly, I honestly think they do that to protect Natalie. Because Natalie is the CEO and they're scared that Natalie might get beat up and then blame them. Now they end up fighting. Ooh, my foot, my finger. And that was the end of Baddies Africa episode 1. Thank you guys for watching. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. See you in the next one. Peace.